to the high and low port. Go ahead and open that. Valves. Make sure everything's open. And the other one, the high side. So that's how they look with the new fittings right there. So far, so now let's see if we can pull a vacuum. I have this one in case I need to tighten these a little more. All right, let me open the valves here. Oh, wrong side. Okay, there we go. So it's pulling down on the low side, and it went back on this side. However, there's no mark that I can see. It's just below the zero on this one, but you can see it's going down to 30 right there. Now I have no air leaks, so these are fully open. And let me do a time for this. So timer, more like a stopwatch so I know how long it's been. So we'll do that for a minute. And you can't even hear this pump right now, which is pretty cool. Oh, that's nice. You know, I just hand tightened this, so I didn't need to do anything. So let's take a look. It is pulling a 30 HG on there, or what is it, inches of mercury, I think. So it's doing it on both. Nice and quick. Now, one of the things I didn't understand is when people turn off the vacuum and then they close the valves. If you close the valves, what's left in there is from before it. So how would you know if it's leaking? That was just my thought, but we'll try it. Anyways, if that makes any sense. Because if you close this, then yeah, that's closed, but then it's gonna stay there because it's a vacuum between the pump and the gauge only, not over here. So let me check the make sure there's no air going through these. There's nothing going through there, or it wouldn't be pulling a vacuum. I can't get over how quiet this is. I'm actually pulling a vacuum there, so that's really nice. It's not even warm. Well, a little warm here. Barely. Everything is holding vacuum so far. Okay, I'm on 5 minutes now. Once you see that you're not gonna need to go hours on end. Just maybe 15, 20 minutes and then let it sit for a while. Another 10, 15 minutes just to see if you have a leak, it'll show real quick. So these are all hand tight. I didn't crank on it with the pliers, just with my hands. Everything is pretty well sealed. I learned that you have to snug it down and then tighten those with your hand, and they usually seal. I leave the hoses off anyways, so that tends to not squish them all the time, or at least the seals inside of the hoses. So if this holds, I won't need to change the condenser, so that's good. Although it's always nice to have the new parts, but if you don't need it, you don't need it. And at this point, that's the only thing that's left that I would change anyways. Everything else is fine so far. As you can see, everything's holding vacuum. So this may actually work. I just thought I'd do the vacuum or pull a vacuum on the system as is because I already have it all closed. I don't have any new parts or anything, and I don't even have any r134 yet. I just want to run the vacuum just to see if it was going to be good. So the hoses are not warm either, they're fine. The sun is the only thing that's warming them up, so just gonna give it some time and I'll be back. I'm just gonna stop this here so I can continue it later so I don't make it too long. Alright, well, according to the instructions, I should do about 15 minutes and then stop everything, but it does say to close the valves first. So we're gonna close the valves because then when I turn the vacuum pump off, we're not gonna get air in the system there. So now that that's closed, it says to basically wait another 5 to 10 minutes. Keep the pressure for 5 to 10 minutes and check if there's any leakage. Then turn on the high and low pressure valves again and start the vacuum pump to continue vacuum. The vacuum time should not be less than 30 minutes. Okay, so I can definitely stop the timer and reset it for another 15 later. So, nope, another 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna leave it for 5 to 10 minutes to see if we lose anything. Remember, this has to stay close. Now I'm only doing the valves or they call it the gauges, not the ones on the actual valves. So I'm leaving those alone because I want to see if anything comes out of here too. And so far, I don't see that happening. Or at least I don't feel anything or hear anything. So we're going to wait another 5 to 10. I'm just trying to look at the order. It basically says to turn on the high and low pressure valves again and start the vacuum pump, which is a reverse order of what I did. I closed them first and I turned the vacuum off. So we'll see how that goes. So after 15, you definitely want to turn it off, give it 5 to 10 minutes to see if there's any leaks, and then after that, keep going for another 15, a total of 30. So yeah, you don't want to be here hours doing this, which makes sense. Well, I see why now. Okay, that makes sense. So when you basically close this, all you're doing is closing between the blue and the yellow, and then between the red and the yellow, which is the middle one. So that vacuum is still connected to that on the other side. All right, cool. And this one, I'm gonna stop it here and give it the 15 minutes. And I'll be back. Okay, it's been 10 minutes and the vacuum still holding. So I'm gonna start the vacuum again and go for another 15 minutes like it says on here. Let's go open. That did not move, which is still holding vacuum. So let me open. Let me reset the timer for another 15 and I'll be done. The good thing about this 134 ink click gauges is that they give you the instruction for it, as you can see here, which is helpful if you forget it. So doing all the O-rings is definitely worth it. Don't skimp on those. I know some people do and they just throw the can in there or whatever, but yeah, don't do that. Make sure everything is checked, and that way you'll be sure that you won't have a leak right away. The only other thing is, I gotta take a picture of this and see how much r12 he wants. But usually, let's see, my rabbit took about, I don't know, one can and just a tiny bit of the end of the other one. So always start with just that one can. If you need more than that, then obviously check your manual, and you don't want to overdo it or overfill it, because then you're going to have the same effect. It's not going to cool. The pump did have some gloves here and some Teflon tape, which I ended up not using. You don't really need it. As you can see, it's holding pretty well as long as you snug those lines. I just threw them in there, but that's pretty much it for that. That pump is cool. I like it. Nice and quiet. I've heard others, they're really loud as soon as they turn them on, but as you can hear, you can't even hear this one unless you're right next to it, which is nice. One thing I forgot to mention about these particular gauges is that I have a purge valve right here. So all you press it and then you can purge it, which is nice. Some other ones don't have the cap, so you gotta do that and everything gets on you, but not this one. Press it, it goes out the back. So that's kind of neat. However, these are only 134. If you can get the 134 and 1234, the new one, that's going to be better because then you can have the new adapters because they are different than the one R134, if I remember correctly. I specifically got this one because of the aluminum knobs. I hate those plastic pieces that just fall apart or break eventually. All right, I'm stopping this one. I did another 15 minutes of vacuum, so let me go ahead and close these. Close that, turn it off. And wait another 5 minutes. You don't need to, but I already did 15 minutes of vacuum at the beginning. Then I did another, I turned these off, left it for 10 minutes to see if there are any leaks, nothing. And then I did another 15 minutes of vacuum right now. And I'm just going to close these and I'm going to close those. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to give it another 5 minutes since I did it again, just to make sure everything's good. And then it's good to go. And I can go ahead and do the get a can and start adding some r134. So that's kind of good. So let me stop this. So you're looking about at 30 40 minute um, vacuum if you do it in stages like that, which makes a lot of sense. The vacuum is definitely hot, a little bit hot now, but it didn't skip a beat. So far so good. So a new non Amazon what do you call those fittings actually are selling pretty well, so that's good. Just make sure you snug those. There's no point on even waiting. Let me just close everything here. I gotta do it this way after you unplug it over there. There we go. It's back to normal. Thought that was kind of weird. This one's back. This one's back. Oh, I'll take it out of there. Okay. Thought these were broken for a minute. Okay. Everything's back to normal. Hoses are off. So there you go. Not much to it, but looks like I'm good to go there. So vacuum. And where is the one from here? Put the cap back on it. And I'm good to go. Until I get my 134. So there you have it. That's pretty much it for the vacuum on the car. Right now I just need to fill it and check that. Alright, I'm using this new valve, but they seem to be backwards. Open to the left and close to the right. But if you do that, it'll be closed in here and open there. So let me check. Because you don't want to have it open when you first put it on here. Okay, so that's screwed on and it's not open, which is what you do when you close this. So it's a little kind of backwards from that one, if you will. Alright, so I have fan on there. I have this on, and before I start it, I have the, what do you call it? The high and the low over here. And let's see. This is closed. This is closed. We have nothing, and it shouldn't turn on when I turn on the car and I put this on. So let me go do that since everything seems to be ready. Not recirculation, but the external. Let's see, cold. Turn the fan on to 3, and I'm gonna push AC. So you hear that going up. What do we have right now? Okay, let's see this. So it's about, what is it? 90. Hard to tell. I got the safety glasses on here too. All right, let's go ahead and open the valves. It's open. Okay, the fan's going there, so I don't want to put my hand in there. And you know what? Let me go turn that off and do it again. All right, it stopped, so let me open this now. Because, well, actually I don't need to open this one since I'm just gonna adding right now. And then I'll open it afterwards to check the pressure. So we're gonna leave that alone. That's fine. All right, let's open the can up. I'm gonna go righty tighty. That should open it. It's nice and snug. Try to do it away from you, not towards you. Okay, that's open. Now, I'm gonna purge a little bit. I already did that. All right, let's go ahead and open this one up. This one should stay closed. And we want to put a okay, everything's on. What's going on here? I think this is even open. Okay. I don't think this can is opening up anything. Nope. Alright, so I'm going to change from the push version to the other one, pointing one. For some reason, it doesn't look like this is going in there. Alright, let's try that again. This one's one of the pinches, or it's pointy. It did screw on fine. Alright, let's try that again. It's close. Okay. It's open. Let's try that again. Okay, I think I hear it this time. That should. I'm not getting anything. Alright. What's going on here? Why isn't this working? Should be fine. It is going to push away. Everything is working. Why isn't it? Okay, let's check it out. Open. Open. We got 0, 0, 0, 0. Huh. Well, everything looks fine, so let me go back to the old one. I don't know what's going on, but this thing is not letting me charge anything. Hold on here. Is this one? Yep. Okay, that seems to be on. Screws. There we go. This one actually works. So, alright, so this one works You can see the needle moving, so that's good. You can purge it. Let me close it. Purge it. Yep. Alright, so it was the valve that was working. Alright, now it's working. So this is what you're going to do on the low side. Just slowly keep it going like this. I know the car is empty, so I don't want to put the whole can in. I only need 12.2 from r12, so that equals to the conversion was, I think, 9 ounces. This is 12 ounces. So I'm going to stop it right there. Just kind of see what we got. Hard to tell with the hose on, but quite a bit, so I'm going to keep going. Yep, still got quite a bit. So I'm still at 20 psi, or yeah. And I know the AC wasn't really working without any fluid on there. Let's go full mode here. You can see it going through there. I'm still at 20, so it's still pretty low. Let the AC do its thing. I gotta figure out why this two don't work. You sit in here. What do we have? Can't see a thing. It's getting late, so it's getting dark. 60, 70, 80 maybe? Yeah, it looks like 80. Still coming out pretty hot, which makes sense since there's nothing in there. That one can would do it, but maybe not. Went up to about 30 on the low side after doing the full can almost. Oh, I can feel the air changing. Oh, that's nice. So I was wrong. Needed the whole can. So I'm just gonna put the whole can because it's barely. I mean, this one feels colder. This one, it's getting there. Remember, it's cool now. It's about 70, I think, or 60 something. That's done. Okay. Just trying to finish the can. Oh wow, there it's coming out cold. Holy cow! You got cold air. Don't let me out of. Come on, buddy. Give me some light. How am I getting here? Can't see. What do we got right now? I got 40 coming out of the vent. Holy cow. Let's see what's the weather outside. 67. Well, I gotta wait to cycle that a few times because this is the first time I ever felt cold air coming out of this guy. Oh man, that's cold. Oh, wow. I lift it on because I want to circulate everything in there. And so far, it seems to be working. That is cool. Well, let me end the video here because it's dark and I can't see anything anymore.